What the fuck is confidence? Well, I think it's just repetition. The way I look at self-doubt, anxiety, and the pressure to perform, it's an idea that is pretty simple on paper. But I think it dismantles the massive lies we've been told about what it takes to succeed in the real world. So confidence is just repetition. If you look at the people around you who seem to have it all together, or people who walk into a room and command attention, or who speak without stuttering, who start businesses, or who make massive, high-stakes decisions with absolute ease, it's very, very easy to fall into the trap of thinking they were just born different. But we've been conditioned to believe that confidence is the mystical genetic trait. We talk about it like it's a software package that some people just get pre-installed at birth, while the rest of us are left running on a buggy or insecure operating system. But we look at our own hesitation and anxiety and fear of trying something new, and we assume it's a permanent defect in our character. Or we tell ourselves, hey, I'll start that project when I feel more fucking confident. Or I put myself out there once I build up my self-esteem. But that's in itself a paradox. I mean, you're just waiting for a feeling to arrive before you take action, which is without realizing that the feeling you're waiting for is just a byproduct of the very action you're avoiding. So confidence isn't even a prerequisite, it's just a result. And the only road that leads to it is just boring, mindless repetition, believe it or not. It sounds odd. It sounds like a grueling task, or like brute forcing your way. But this is the illusion. If we just dismantle the myth of the natural first, because it's like a toxic concept in modern culture. I think we love the narrative of like the kid prodigy or something like that, or the person who picks up a guitar for the first time and plays a flawless solo, or the natural born leader who just instinctively knows how to rally a crowd. But really, if you just pull back the curtains on any natural talent, what you actually find is just a mountain of tedious repetition. Nobody sees the thousands of hours someone puts in when it's like something like spent talking to an empty wall, or stumbling over their words, or adjusting their tone in a quiet room. Nobody sees the countless awkward failed conversations a charismatic person had to face or deal with before they figure out the natural flow of human social dynamics. When you see someone executing like a high stakes task with absolute, relaxed confidence, you aren't looking at innate talent there, you're looking at desensitization. You're looking at a brain that has run the exact same simulation so many times that the fear response has been completely worn down. Think of your brain like a physical landscape. The first time you try to do something new, it's like trying to walk through a dense, overgrown jungle. There's no path. Every step is difficult. It's slow. It requires a lot of cognitive effort, obviously. Like, no shit, Sherlock, but you're constantly second guessing yourself because you don't know where the obstacles are. But the more you walk that exact same route, the more the grass gets trampled down, right? Eventually a fucking dirt path forms. If you walk it enough, it becomes a paved highway. And that paved highway is what we call confidence here. It's just your brain running a neural pathway with like zero resistance, because it's done it 1,000 times before. It becomes almost second nature. But here's let's just take like a Soulslike metaphor. The practice of dying. Since we're running gameplay in the background, think about it how it works in video games. Like Soulslike or Call of Duty or fucking whatever. The very first time you step through a fog gate or face a massive boss, your physical body reacts exactly the same way it does when you have to do a public presentation or walk into an awkward social setting. Your heart rate spikes, your palms sweat, your breathing gets shallow, and your focus narrows to a panic. So you're terrified of making a mistake because you don't know the boss's moveset, you don't know the timings, and you don't trust your own reaction times. You kind of have zero confidence. And honestly, you shouldn't. You've never done this before, right? Predictably, you get absolutely crushed in about 30 seconds, tops, right? Best case scenario in this first time. But then you run it back. Step through the fog gate a second time. Alright, you still die, but this time you notice a specific attack pattern. Or you run it a third time, a 10th time, a 20th time, a 100th time. Look, by the 50th or 100th, 100? Is it 100th? Oh, fuck it. By the 50th attempt, a fascinating psychological shift here occurs, right? Your heart rate doesn't really spike anymore. and your palms aren't sweaty or anymore, you aren't panicking. You can kind of practically predict the boss's next movement before the animation even begins. You're going to dodge effortlessly at this point. You're going to punish their openings, and you're going to walk through the fight with absolute, self-assurance. Did your character get a massive stat boost? No. Did you suddenly unlock some secret cheat code? No. You simply normalized the threat through repetition. So you died so many times that the unknown became the known now. The fear response evaporated because your brain had already processed the failure state 50 times and realized that you survived every single one of them. That's the exact mechanism of confidence, by the way. It isn't the belief that you'll never fail, it's just the absolute certainty that you can handle the failure when it happens because you've already been there. So the comfort zone now is a fragile cage. And the biggest reason most people go through life lacking confidence is also because they refuse to endure the suck phase. Like, you fucking suck. They mistake the initial discomfort of trying something new for a sign of permanent incompetence. I mean, trying to speak a new language or go to the gym for the first time, or you start a new career path, or even try a project, right? Everyone's always got projects going on. It's going to feel incredibly awkward. You're going to look foolish. You're going to make basic mistakes. But instead of looking at that awkwardness as a natural, mandatory part of trampling down the path in the jungle, people just look at it and say, see, I knew I wasn't cut out for this. I don't have the confidence. Okay, and then they just retreat straight back into their comfort zone. You shouldn't be that. Because the catch is, your comfort zone isn't a safe haven. It's just a fragile cage that shrinks every time you refuse to step outside of it. If you only do the things you're only comfortable with, your baseline of confidence becomes incredibly brittle. At the moment you're forced even slightly outside of your routine, you collapse. True, confidence, just resilience, can only be built by constantly exposing yourself, right, to low stakes failures, until your brain realizes that failure is not a terminal diagnosis, it's just data. It's just a signal telling you how to adjust your next repetition. So, last part of this is maybe just the action first rule. Like, if you want to apply it in real life, but you're stuck in self-doubt, maybe you just have to flip the order of operations here. You have to stop waiting for the confidence to arrive first. You have to accept the fact that you're going to feel anxious, unqualified. And so the action must precede the feeling. If you want to be confident at public speaking, you don't need a dozen self-help books on charisma. You just sign up for low-stakes speaking, anything that's low-stakes speaking, and you accept that the first 3 are going to be fucking rough. But if you want to be confident in the gym, for example, you don't wait until you're in perfect shape to go. You just show up. You look a little lost. You lift the weights. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about what anyone thinks as well? But you keep showing up until the environment stops feeling hostile and it starts feeling familiar. Boosts your self-confidence. Hello. If you want to build a business or a brand, you don't wait until you have to have like the perfect polished setup. You record the first video, you edit it, you put it out, and you accept that it's just gonna get fucking 0 views. That's it. But then you do it again and again and again and again and again. You don't stop. You don't stop. Because you're tricking your brain. You're forcing yourself to repeat the action despite the fear. So you're proving to your nervous system that the threat is just an illusion. You're showing your subconscious mind that you can walk into the fog gate and get knocked down, but keep moving forward. Because eventually the repetition does its job. The path gets paved. The anxiety fades into the background noise, and one day you'll look back and realize that the very thing that used to keep you awake at night is now something you can do with your eyes closed. Do not wait to feel ready. Ready is a myth. Put yourself in the room, embrace the awkwardness, collect your repetitions, and let the confidence catch up to you. It's like a game. It's like a video game. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Sorry, I just thought I'd add this because this is literally the last frame, and I didn't notice it until I was editing this video. What the